So what can you expect when you come along? Now let me tell you something. If you are ready to experience a big breakthrough in your life, if you're ready to experience things you've never experienced before, then you need to come along. Because let me tell you something, there's people up there that have never ever imagined they'd put up or they deal with pains in their life. They're addressing them right now. They're dealing with them right now. And I assure you, they're going to become much bigger, better people on the offset. I assure you, they're going to become much bigger and better people when they leave. Now here, you will go through some massive breakthroughs. We'll be pushing you to build your confidence levels. We'll be pushing you to step out of your comfort zone, to face your fears, to do things that you've probably never done before. All in the aid of growing, realizing your inner power, realizing how great and how strong you actually are. And if you do it, you will become a much stronger, more confident, more agile, and a much, much better person. Because here, you will be getting the skills, the tools, the application to go away and implement and to take serious actions to change your life. Now, a common thing I hear from a lot of people is they have no confidence. In particular, people that have moved to the country. They come to the country and they feel that because the English is not their first language, that they'll struggle because of their accent, their language, the difference of words across different cultures and different languages. And they use that as an excuse not to move forward. Take Raphael. Raphael met his girlfriend here. He moved to the UK, has an amazing, beautiful family, but really feels he's never fulfilled his potential because of lack of confidence. Because he felt his language and his accent was something that people wouldn't understand, and as a result, he never done anything when it comes to speaking or going out there or putting himself out there. Let me tell you something, when he arrived, he wouldn't go on stage. Literally, 24 hours later, he was on stage presenting, and you can see that in this video.
My name is Rafael Saraceni. Many years ago, I met a gorgeous English girl. I married her, and we moved to England. Now, I noticed throughout the years that what I believed about myself was stopping me over and over to achieve the things that I wanted to do. Mainly believing that my command of English wasn't good enough to do things, or my accent was just too strange or too awful for people to understand me. This really stopped me many times, and there is many opportunities that I missed just because I was feeling this way. Now I signed up for Tell the World, and I came and I started to receive the teaching and engaging with this because there is something that I wanted to break off. I don't want to be limited by all the stuff that I know that I'm believing that is not really true. And then we started to move forward. I put my hand up in one of the sessions, and I was taken to do a presentation. And then the magic really happened.
How many of you would like to learn the skills of living your life at the full potential? How many of you realize that to be able to achieve this, you have to look into these things? Thank you. Okay, my name is Rafael Saraceni, and over the last few years, I started to discover that there is a fine line between living busy and finding out why I'm here for. And I have helped people through these insights to find out why they want to live and how to do this, to discover something to help them move forward in their lives. So first of all, before going any further, I would like to thank you for being here today. I appreciate that many of you have moved some commitments around, have taken time, have spent money to be here. And I don't take life lightly. I would like to thank you for that. And because of that, I want to make the most so that you will take out of these 45 minutes, that you will take everything that you need to be able to move forward. Over this time, you will be learning how to identify what your passions are, because your passions will determine what your actions are. You will also be learning what things in your life are hindering blocks in moving towards these purposes, these actions that you want to be walking in. Because if you don't learn those things, you will be stumbling over and over again with these things, and you really don't want that. And finally, you will also learn how to move with confidence in each one of the things that you want to do in life, so you can live fulfilled and with a purpose. So the reason that I am here is to be able to share a little bit of my experience in these things and somehow be help to you so that you could also move forward with confidence. We'll be able to achieve great destiny, the things that you've really been made for, the things that are really burning within your hearts. And many of you sometimes don't even know it.
Let me talk to you about David. David, what an awesome guy. If you knew his story, it will impact you like it's impacted me. From serving in Afghanistan and through the forces for many, many years. Prior to that, he was in childcare. Abusive past. He came to tell the world, he came to the program to learn the skills to become more confident, to learn the skills to address these pains so he can get his message out there about mental health. You see, he suffered all sorts of mental health issues, PTSD, anxiety, depression. And he's said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. He's decided that he is going to address his pains so he can help other people with their pains, because he's been through and he's going through it. One of the things he lacked is the ability to stand on stage and speak without breaking down. We're addressing that right now. Some of his pains he's completely putting a blanket over because he doesn't even want to touch them or go near them. But you've got to. As I explained to David, you've got to touch on them, you've got to discuss them, you've got to open it up. You can't fix a broken leg with a plaster. You need to address the root problem and then you can fix it. David's now in a position where he's going through the process. He's been speaking, he's been opening up, and he is becoming a much bigger person. And let me tell you something, if you have the opportunity to spend just 2 or 3 minutes with this guy, you need to do that, because his story will impact you, and let me tell you, it will save lives.
So I'm going to start from the very beginning. When I was around about 5, 6 years old. I grew up with violence, drugs and alcohol. My mum was abusive, my dad was never there. And I remember the day when I was took into care. When I was around about 5 years old. I was took by strangers, I didn't know what the hell was happening. I was taken to the care system and I was mentally and physically abused through hostels and halfway houses when I was a child. I was told to shut up, not tell people, and I kind of turned into a mute. I didn't speak to anyone about it or anything I kind of went through for about 10 years of my life. I've got siblings, but they were never really there for me. And one of my sisters took me out of care. But the stuff I went through in care, I was very emotional and she just couldn't deal with it, so she put me back into care. So it really fucked my head up. I had no one around me. And after that, I was still a mute. I didn't really speak to anyone. I tried to get in contact with my mum again, but she's still kind of heavy on drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And I used to have time with her every couple of weeks. And I actually converted to Islam when I was 16, which probably not people would even think looking at me, but it really helped me back then. And a story where a mullah told me, you need to go and speak to your mum, because something bad's going to happen. Literally 2 days later, she passed away. So that really messed my mind up. After that, I kind of went on a bit of a mental breakdown. I was homeless for around about a year, 2 years, living on the streets. I had no food, no water. I really struggled. I kind of got into halfway houses and hostels. and that's where I got an address so I could join the military. I joined the military at 19 years old. Through the training, it really turned my mental state to a positive attitude where the army kind of came my family and it gave me structure in life. By the end of the training, I found out my biological dad had passed away. I didn't really know how to react to that because he was never there. But I was determined to carry on with the military. So at the end of the military, actually after training, I got presented with an award of best recruit over like 90 people. So that really helped my mindset back then. 3 months after passing out of training, I went to my first tour of Afghan, which was very kinetic. I wasn't really ready for it, but it made me into the man I am today. I've seen my mates blown up, shot. I've lost around 30 friends who have been killed in the military. Coming off my first tour, I did my section commander's course. I was a section commander and personal training in the military. So it really gave me purpose, what to do, and my kind of family, which I never really had. After going on my second tour of Afghan, that was the worst tour I think our kind of battalion had. We had around about 100 casualties and 5 deaths. And there's a story that really hits home with me. One of my best friends, and I was in a newspaper article about it, where I was on the top of the compound and we were getting sniper shots at us for the whole day. And we heard nothing for about an hour, 2 hours. So I asked my mate John to take over my position because I was up there with a sniper trying to find out where the Taliban was. Nothing was happening for about 2-3 hours. He took over my position. Within 30 seconds, he got shot straight in the face. My instinct literally kicked in. I got on that compound, no body armour, no fuck all, absolutely nothing. Got on top of him, gave him first aid, pulled him off the top of the compound, had to tilt his head because he can't really do anything with a head injury. I thought he was dead. I turned his head, kind of drained his mouth of the blood, got him down off the top of there and took over the firefight. We killed 3 Taliban that day, and that day will always stay with me. Because the guy that actually, my best friend John, he's still alive today. I know he got shot in the head, but he survived that attack. He's living now, he's paralysed half his body, but he's still alive. And after coming back from that tour, I remember the day where I stepped off the coach, come from Brize Norton. I had no family around me, no friends. I went back to my room and it just sunk in like, I don't know where I am in life again. Within 3 months, I was diagnosed with PTSD, which I couldn't contemplate. I didn't know why it was so wrong with me. And in the military, PTSD, with the guys that are in the military, would know it's a fucking career killer. And it really fucked me up to the point where I tried to take my life twice. I OD'd and tried to hang myself. I was sectioned into a mental health hospital for 6 months. While I was in there, one of my sisters that I was really close to, Katie, she kind of passed away. She was an alcoholic as well. And I had to kind of get myself out of that state where I was in recovery, so and be there for my sister. And that really affected me again because I was never really taking care of myself and my mental state. After that, after leaving the military while being medically discharged, I literally had no help again. And I was homeless again. Didn't know where to start from. And from there, I've kind of been in and out of jobs. But now, the last year, it's just completely changed my fucking mindset. That I've got obviously a beautiful fiance and I've got a kid coming on the way. It's gave me a better mindset and purpose where I want to go in life. And I only really found out about property this year. And being around kind of people like you with great mindsets, especially Alassane and all the team, it's helped me tell my story. And I want to become a public speaker. I want to be able to do this properly. So today, that's my story. And I just want to say thank you for your time.
I know we all have a story inside of us, just like you. I do, you do, and many, many other people do. The skill is being able to get that story up and out so that people are impacted by it. And that's what you're going to get at this program. Trust me, you will leave a bigger, better person, more fulfilled, happier, more content. Now trust me on this. If you want to be like David, like Raphael, like myself, you got to take that leap. Just take the leap. Grow your wings as you fall if you're too scared. Because sometimes the best opportunities are on the other side of fear. And I know if you just take that step, you wait and see what happens. But nothing happens unless you take the first step. You take the first step and you wait and see what happens with myself.